I can see her lying back in her satin dress in a room where you do what you don't confess.
Hey, happy Humber Wednesday from Dykes Marsh here in Alexandria, Virginia. All right, so back. Wow, camera's on the wrong side. Okay, so happy Humber Wednesday. I'm gonna try to get one in, a little quick one. You know, I don't know. I might ramble for a while. We'll see how long this goes. So today, this afternoon, I'm drinking a Port City. I hope you can see this. Port City Essential Pale Ale. This is another one from Port City, which is right here in Alexandria. Really good brewery. You can see right there, Alexandria, Virginia. And if you guys ever make your way up to DC, these guys are Port City's right off Duke Street, just past Old Town Alexandria. And those guys do some really, really good tours. You go back in there. It's a smaller brewery. I mean, I think they're exporting probably, you know, the Eastern Seaboard, maybe a few states in the Midwest, not a whole lot, but they're just branching out. They won best small brewery in the Great American Beer Festival in 2015. Their Optimal Wit is the best beer, or their most famous beer. Although I'm really digging this Essential Pale Ale. I'm trying pale ales now because. And this one's 5.5% ABV. I'm trying pale ales because I got Nelson Calrissian here bubbling. It's been going for, 4 days now? The bubbling's kind of stopped, so it's probably fermented out. I'm going to let it go for the rest of the week and then do a sample. But I'm kind of getting into pale ales because this one, these here, they put a little note on here saying they use the hopzuka. They've got this machine, and you've seen some breweries that do this. They want to do dry hopping without introducing alcohol or without introducing oxygen. So they have this machine. It's called the hopzuka. It reminds me of those devices you use to shoot the t-shirts at an NFL game. But they got this thing. It sits on the floor, and it's got a little tube that goes up to the fermentation tank or the dry hopping tank. And they flood the tube with CO2 and they shoot these hops through hopzuka, like a bazooka. And anyway, it's pretty neat. But you go do the tour. These guys bring you in there. They let you chew the grains and smell the hops, and they let you you come in with a cup, and then they fill up the fill you up with green beer that's in the bright tanks while you're going through the tour. Actually, the guy does a pretty good job of getting you applied a little bit. So. Good tour. If you're ever at Alexandria, Virginia, up near D.C., just south of D.C., highly recommend it, swinging by Port City. Wow, what a plug for those guys. Anyway, cheers. It's good beer. Okay, so this morning, I was going to wait until tomorrow. I was going to cold crash the Remorseful Leprechaun. I was going to cold crash it for 48 hours starting Tuesday, and then Thursday, rack it over to a keg and start force carbing it. But I opened the refrigerator this morning. The color was beautiful, and I might throw a picture up here. But the color is absolutely gorgeous. It was pretty much clear. All the remaining yeast had settled out in the bottom, so I went ahead and racked it over this morning, stuck it in the keg, and started force carbing it. So it should be ready Friday evening, I would think. Should be pretty well carb. So looking forward to that one, man. I think it's going to be a really good beer. Kind of just been putzing around this week on my third week of sick leave. I got one more week to go. Then I should be back to work. So updated status right now on tap. I did have Dreyer's Abomination, but that thing I think is getting ready to kick. It's looking a little cloudy. And then I've got Remorseful Leprechaun, which is just been put in today. It'll be ready on Friday evening, and it is 6.2%. So it started out at 1064. I got it all the way down to 1017 as of yesterday, and it's looking great. And then over here we got Nelson Calrissian, which I got 1052 as my starting gravity, a little bit lower than I thought, 5 points lower. But still to be a 5.5% beer. So I'm 5.5, yeah, 5.5%. To see it might go pretty low. It's been percolating for a while, so we'll see what happens. Not a whole. Actually, yeah, there is something else going on. I've got my hop experiment with Puka, North Carolina, and 8 other folks. There's 10 of us. We're doing the hop experiment. We're doing just a standard IPA recipe, and we're changing up the hop schedule. I'm using HBC438, I think it is. It's called Ron Mexico. Found that out from Josh Shakur. So did that recipe up. I think Josh is in the group too. I can't wait to get this thing brewed, and I think I'm going to brew mine on the 11th, the last day that I can, because my wife will be gone. She'll be heading out for a work convention, so it'll free me up to do that. And then I force carb mine, so I don't need a whole lot of time to condition or anything. So we'll get those bottled up and shipped out, and man, not a whole lot else going on. I'm waiting to find out on the 8th of April, I think, is when my national homebrew competition beers up at the Philadelphia hub get tested, and I don't know how long it takes them to tell you what happens if you go into the next round, but there's that. And then I think that aren't we expecting the SJ4 international results out pretty soon too? I think there's a few more days. They're trying to get those things turned in, and should find out soon who the crowning champion is. And I'm really looking forward to seeing. SJ had kind of hinted there was going to be some surprise prize for the winner, so look forward to seeing what that is. So anyway, not a very long one. I didn't, when I brewed the Nelson Calrissian, I had a couple of Australians over here, and I think they might have been a little camera shy. I didn't try to ask what they wanted to get on video, so I didn't get any of the footage. Plus, these guys were sitting right next to my kegerator, and they were drinking. Now, I warned those guys. I said, hey, old school double IPA, which is, they kicked while they were here. It's 9.1%, so it goes down pretty smooth, but be careful. It's got a bite. But they hit it pretty hard. And the funny thing was, I didn't know the one guy, his wife was supposed to be, they had an engagement here in D.C. to go to some kind of social dinner event, and he was about an hour out. He was here, hadn't shaved yet, was plastered, and I said, hey man, you got enough time to, when is your event? He's like, oh, it's at 6. I'm like, whoa, dude, or at 7. I go, oh, that's like an hour away. He's like, oh, it's plenty of time. So about 20 minutes out, his wife comes rolling in. She snatched him up, and the next morning I went over there. He had asked us in his state to come over and have some pizza with him. So we went over and had some pizza the next evening, and I think they were still nursing. He and his brother-in-law were still nursing an old school hangover, and they had some Vegemite. They had Vegemite, and they were smeared it on toasted bread. So I got to taste some of that, and it was freaking awesome. It was so good. I ordered 3 jars on Amazon that get delivered today, so I'm looking forward to the Vegemite coming in. The only thing I knew about Vegemite was, the Men at Work song, Land Down Under, the Vegemite sandwich. And I think I had tasted some a long time ago in Kuwait when I was deployed, and it was an Australian officer, and he had a little tube of Vegemite, but it was that stuff was nasty, the stuff that came in their little lunch pack. But anyway, they turned me on to Vegemite, so I got some coming. And if you've never had Vegemite, you should don't lather it on. It's pretty potent stuff. It's yeast concentrate or yeast extract, but you could use it to brew, I think. But it goes great with beer because it's yeast extract. So you smear some on, and you put some butter on some toasted bread. Then you put a very light, almost scrape it on, and then you eat that with like a pale ale. Trust me on this. Get yourself some Vegemite. You can order it off Amazon. It's pretty cheap for 3 jars. So I think it was like $17 or something for 3 jars. So anyway, that's about it for the Dean's List. Look forward to seeing all your videos this week, and cheers to all you guys. Have a happy homebrew, and have a happy Homebrew Wednesday. You know how many toes up. Cheers.
Sundown, you better take care if I find you've been creeping round my back stairs. Sometimes I think it's a sin when and I feel like I'm